there, my name's Josh Cantwell with strategicrealestatecoach.com, and in this video I want to tell you a little bit about some of the websites that I use to find properties, investment properties that we buy, fix, and sell. At strategicrealestatecoach.com, if this is the first time that you've watched one of my videos, my name is Josh Cantwell. I've been personally buying and selling real estate since 2003. I've bought over 650 properties, somewhere around 667 is where we're at right now. We use other people's money to fund our deals, so we're constantly raising capital. We use our own crews to renovate and fix and sell houses, and we've made a pretty substantial amount of money, pushing up to $6-7 million in profits for ourselves and our business partners from the deals that we've done. And so in this video, I just want to show you a couple ways that you can find good real estate properties even if you don't have access to the multiple listing service. You see, in my business, I'm primarily responsible for raising the capital to fund all of our deals. Even though we have a lot of our own money, we always use other people's money to fund our deals. And so what you see on the screen right now is my multiple listing service. And so if you're a real estate agent, or if you are a real estate investor who knows a real estate agent well, you can get access to to properties via the multiple listing service. But a lot of investors don't have access to the multiple listing service. And so what I want to do is tell you a little story about my brother Mark. My brother Mark is my business partner, but my brother Mark does not use the MLS to find properties. Okay? He uses other websites like homepath.com, homesteps.com, hudhomestore.com, hubzoo.com, Zillow.com, freeclevelandhomesearch.com, and auction.com. And so what I want to do, and even Trulia.com. So what I want to do in this video is walk you through some websites and some resources that you can get access to for free to look up properties. Okay? What I want you to think about is the way properties find themselves onto the internet is either what's called a top-down approach or a bottom-up approach. And let me explain what I mean. A top-down approach is this. Properties, when they are listed for sale, they are, whether it's a for sale by owner, whether it's a short sale, whether it's a HUD home, whether it's a Fannie Mae or a Freddie Mac home or a bank-owned property, they almost always get listed by a real estate agent, and they get put into the multiple listing service. So the multiple listing service is the top-down approach. And what I mean is a real estate agent gets the listing, signs the listing agreement with the bank or with the seller, puts the property into the multiple listing service. And then when it's in the multiple listing service, most multiple listing services have a syndication tool. And when that syndication tool pushes these properties out all over the internet. And let me explain what I mean. Here's a property that I recently bought at 6415 Miller Road, okay, in Brecksville, Ohio. So how does 6415 Miller Road in Brecksville, Ohio end up on Trulia.com? How does it end up on Zillow.com or Realtor.com or Homeswing.com or Homes.com or FreeRealEstateResources.com or Movado.com, okay, or Homesnap.com? How does it end up on all of these websites? Well, the answer is simple, okay? The way it ends up on these websites is a listing agent puts the property into the multiple listing service, and the multiple listing services, they have a syndication tool that pushes the property out to all of these other websites. Okay? Then you have websites that actually go out and what's called they scrape the internet for listings. And then they take those listings and put them on their own sites. So some of these websites, I don't know which ones to be honest with you, but like OreoProperty.com, No idea what this site is. But how does Miller Road end up on OreoProperty.com or CityData.com? Okay. It's always because it's syndicated on a top-down approach from the MLS and it's pushed out. Okay. So if you have access to the MLS, you have the front-end data, okay, the most up-to-date front-end data from the top down, because you can log right into the MLS just like I do. So I can go into the MLS 6415 Miller Road, and I can look up my property. Actually, I typed it in wrong. I'm sorry, 6415 Miller Road. There we go. And this is going to bring up my property here that I just recently bought in Brecksville. Okay, so that property got pushed out then to all these sites: Trulia, Movado, Free Cleveland Home Search, Auction.com, Zillow.com, Hubzu, etc. So if you don't have access to the multiple listing service, you can simply go to these other sites and you can register. Okay, so what I would encourage you to do is, even with Zillow, you can go in and set up a search. Okay, you can sign in or you can register and you can set up a search. Now, that search is going to be great. Here's what I mean. Zillow is, one of those websites that is connected to almost every multiple listing service across the country. And so what you can do now is, if you don't have access to the MLS, is you can use the bottom-up approach. Okay, so the top-down approach is having access to the MLS. You get the front-end data. Well, within a couple of days, when a property is put into the MLS and it's pushed out and syndicated to all these sites, you can then use the approach that my brother Mark uses, which you can use the bottom-up approach. Okay, the bottom-up approach is where you go to all these other sites and you find this information that's on these sites that was syndicated out to these sites from the MLS. Okay, so you don't have to have access to the multiple listing service. I know what my brother does is he simply goes into Zillow and he signs in, okay, and he puts in his criteria, okay, when he's looking for a property, okay. So he goes into Zillow and he simply puts in his searches and he puts in a filter. You see how this pops down? Okay. So we can go in here and we can put in, 44212, 44256, 44139, 44130. And then we can look at for sale by owner, new homes, foreclosures, pre-market, all this stuff. So I would get rid of the pre-market stuff because that's all bogus, in my opinion. But I would look for sale by agent, for sale by owner, new homes, foreclosures. In my area, I don't care for condos. I don't really care for multifamily. I don't care for manufactured. I don't care for lots. Pendings are okay, but I don't need pendings. And then I put the price. So in my area, I'll look for anything between $30,000 and $100,000. That's a 3-bed plus, a 1-bed plus. I'm looking for 750 square feet and up. And days on market and year built, I could care less. So I'm just going to click apply. And this is going to put together a list of areas that I want. Okay. I'm just going to change the search here. Strongsville, Medina. Okay. And click apply. And what this will bring up now is this will bring up all the properties in Medina, Ohio. Okay. So this is, see Medina, Ohio right here. So that's all these properties that fit my criteria, and they start to pop up over here on the right. So if you don't have access to the MLS, the internet is a fantastic way, okay, for you to look these properties up and find them and be able to make offers on them and do your research. I really like the search tool on Zillow.com if you don't have access to the internet, okay? Now, the other sites that are out there is HomePath. Well, HomePath is the site where all of the Fannie Mae foreclosures are at. Okay? So if I just type in 44256 and I put in price, anything up to a maximum, let's say of 100, and let's say I do a 3-bed, 1-bath, and click search. Okay, this is going to bring me up any properties that are available in Medina, Ohio, which is part of my sweet spot. Okay, and I can look for properties that are available specifically in Medina. Now, all of these properties are actually under contract. These are all sold. Okay, 30 Circle Drive, Smoke Rise, Will Smith, blah, blah, blah. Okay, no problem. Well, what I can do is if I want to expand my search, I can also put in additional zip codes up here in the upper left. So I'm going to put in some other zip codes of some areas that we work in. And I'm just going to then click search, and I'm going to continue to look for properties up to $100,000. And you can see from my search here all the little blue flags that show up for all the properties that I want to see. Now, again, we're looking here at just Fannie Mae properties. Now, again, this is a bottom-up approach because all of these properties are in the MLS. So if you have access to the MLS, you don't need these other websites. But if you don't have access to the MLS, you're going to need other ways to find properties, okay? So what I want to do then is I looked, up to, I'm going to put here, you see this little tool over here where I can shrink down. I'm going to look from 0 to $100,000, and I'm going to look at 3-bed, and I'm going to look at 1-bath, and it's going to update the results almost instantaneously, okay? And what I want to do is now I can see all the properties in these areas. So Barberton, Brunswick, Parma, Strongsville, Cleveland, all these areas. There's 30 properties here that I can look at. Okay. From as little as $15,000 all the way up to $100,000. Okay. So you get the idea. Now, here's what I also want to show you about the Fannie Mae website. Okay, see where it says first look? Okay, well, anywhere where you see first look, that means that they're still only allowing owner-occupants to make offers on the properties for the first 15 days. So typically what you're going to find then is properties that just say like just listed along with first look. Okay, you can also search by status. Okay, so if I want to see just listed or properties that are back on the market, which means that they were originally sold and whoever was going to buy it flaked out, and now they're back on the market, and then you see there's price reduced, and then there's actives. The last thing we want are the ones that are under contract because, obviously we can't buy those at the moment because they're under contract with someone else. So now I can look at all these properties, right? I can look for stuff like here's 4229 Regal Avenue in Brunswick. Okay. Believe it or not, that's where I grew up. I grew up on Regal Parkway, Regal Avenue in Brunswick. This is the little condo. Looks like it's in great shape. Probably not a good investment property. Okay, because if it's in perfect shape, they're probably not offering it at any kind of significant discount. Okay, so that's Fannie Mae. Now on Home Steps is the Freddie Mac site. Okay, I'm going to look first of all in Ohio. You have to do the drop down in Ohio. Then I'm going to look in, let's say, Medina County. Okay, and I want to go up to, let's say 90,000. I want 2 beds or more, 1 bath or more, and I'm really looking for personally single-family homes only, and I'll go up to 50 results per page. So find homes. So Freddie Mac, for some reason, has much less inventory than Fannie Mae. Okay, I'm not really sure why, but they just have a lot less inventory. But again, you see, this first look, okay, process. So 4361 Kimmich Drive in Brunswick has only been on the market 4 days. And for some reason, they're offering this for $17,000. Huh. That seems extremely low. It last sold for $88,700 in 1999, and now it's on the market for $17,500. Okay. Well, what I'm going to do is I want to look this property up in my MLS. Okay, so I'm just going to take this and I'm going to copy this. And I'm going to go to my MLS and I'm going to look this property up. The reason why I want to look it up right now is because that's an incredible deal. It's 4361 Kimmich. 4361 Kimmich. Search. So let's see what they got for us on Brunswick. So wow, I have no idea. I mean, obviously this house looks like it appears to need a lot of work from these pictures. But I can't believe they're only asking $17,000 for this. Okay? This is easily something I could buy, fix, and rent out in Brunswick. I could easily rent this out for probably $1,000 a month. Okay? And if I rent it out for $1,000 a month, I'm gonna I basically pay this house off in like a year. Okay, so that gives you an idea exactly what I mean by using Freddie Mac, right? I'm searching for properties. I found this good deal potentially, right? And now I'm gonna go into the MLS and I'm gonna do some more research. Okay, let's look at this interactive map. I just want to look real quick and see where this property is located in Brunswick. Okay, Kimmich Drive, right off of Pearl Road. Wow. Kellerhanna, Hickory Ridge, Kimmich. Okay. Very cool. See Hickory Ridge Drive right here? There's a little restaurant right here where I buy my kids pancakes. So I know exactly where this property is at on Kimmich. So I'm going to go look at it just to see. It's probably a little dive house, but it sold, 14 years ago for $99,000. Probably needs a ton of work. And so there's no owner-occupant that's going to buy this. It's going to be an investor like me who's going to end up buying the property. And so that's exactly what I mean by using home steps. Now, next is HUD Home Store. Okay? Now, HUD Home Store is just HUD homes. These are properties that used to be FHA insured loans that went bad. Okay, so I'm going to look just in Medina County, and here you see again there's 7 properties in Medina County, which is one of the counties that I work in. And there's properties in here for between 153 down to 42.2. Okay, so I could do research there. Hubzu, same thing. Okay, Zillow, already went through. Now, this site is a little bit different. This is called Free Cleveland Home Search. And this is something I want to tell you about. It's very cool. This is a IDX site. Now, what I mean by this is an IDX is a feed, okay, a feed from the MLS into a website where you can search the entire MLS from a website. Okay, now this happens to be one of my sites where I actually have an agreement with the multiple listing service, and they feed all of the properties in the MLS, they feed into my website. Okay, and so all of these properties are in the MLS and they're on my site, and so somebody can go to home and they can fill out what areas they want and set up a search. Okay, so this is something that you could do. You could pick, all these different townships and cities. You can pick, by area, Avon, Beechwood, all these different areas in Northeast Ohio. And so here's what I want you to do. If you go Google, okay, if you open up a Google search and just Google homes for sale in your area. So just fill in the blank. Let's just say homes for sale in Strongsville. Okay, you're probably going to find sites over here on the right-hand column and the left-hand, like Zillow, where you can search for properties. Okay, And you can register on a site like mine, which is an IDX site, and you can set up your own feed. Okay? And that feed will then give you access to look at almost everything that's in the MLS, even if you don't have access to the MLS. Okay, finally, there's auction.com, trulia.com, and movado.com. Okay, all of these different sites have ways that you can register, put in your criteria, and they will feed you properties that you can research to buy as an investor. And so if you want to learn more about this and how I find properties just like this all the time with access to the MLS and without access to the MLS, what I want you to do is go to 40kflips.net and register for our free class. That's 40, the letter K, flips.net, and register for our free class. And I'll show you exactly how I do this business of finding deals without any marketing expenses, find deals right online, make offers through my real estate agent, buy them with other people's money, fix them with other people's time, effort, and energy by outsourcing them to contractors, and flip them for big profits using my property launch formula. So go to 40kflips.net and register for our free class now. And I hope you enjoyed our video of how to find foreclosure properties online. Take care.